Or shot fire, officer down, shot fire, officer down. Got a city officer down, shot fire.
223, be advised, we have a visual on enemy paratroopers in grid Papa uniforms.
Welcome to the Resilient Warrior Nation, a podcast dedicated to inspiring hope and healing for first responders, military veterans, and anyone facing PTSD and trauma. Hey guys, welcome to another podcast episode of the Resilient Warrior Nation. I'm your host, Mike Morgan. I'm excited for today's episode, today's guest, but as I do every episode, I like to explain why I wear the shirt. Unafraid is not a proclamation. This is the name of a company owned by a man named Eddie Penny. Eddie is a former Navy SEAL, Team 6 guy, and as I sat down and watched a podcast episode of the Sean Ryan Show in the spring of 2023, I had no idea that Eddie was literally about to change the entire trajectory of my life. I'm a 30-year medically retired police officer. And for about a year, I had been retired. I've been struggling with feelings of depression, rage, anger, general unhappiness, had no idea the origination. And I sat down and watched that episode. And during the course of it, Eddie was recounting the story of the Extortion 17 incident in which a Chinook was shot down in Afghanistan, killing all 38 aboard. This included 17 SEALs, most of which were from DevGru or SEAL Team 6. And in the dead included Jason Workman, Eddie's best friend. Eddie recounted the story of escorting his body back to Utah, I believe, and then back to his final resting place at Arlington National Cemetery. During the course of Eddie telling his story, he was upset, rightly so. I simultaneously began thinking about a call I had buried 5 years before about a 2-year-old found floating in a pool, beautiful girl named Dana Sakorski. And no other better way to say it. As I'm thinking about Dana and I'm listening to Eddie talk, I just lost it, started crying like a baby. I had no idea what was going on. Literally, I'm asking myself, what the fuck is happening right now? But kind of put two and two together rather quickly, realized I had suffered some sort of PTSD in my career. Always mistakenly believed you had to see your brother or sister next to you get killed to do so, but mine was from being inside the most devastatingly intimate moments of other people's lives. So I knew I needed help. I wasn't sure how I was going to go about it. I decided that psychedelics was calling me, and using ayahuasca, I greatly healed many of my issues during the course of my first journey as I was coming out of it. And the universe and I were having a conversation. We were talking as clearly as I'm talking to you right now. The universe told me that my life's pursuit was to go forth and help other first responders and vets heal their PTSD and trauma issues. I said, okay, out loud, having no idea how I was going to implement that. One thing I decided to do was start a podcast to do for others what Sean Ryan did for me. In that I bring on ordinary people who've done extraordinary things with their lives, talk about the highs, lowest of lows. My hopes is that you men and women who are going through it will get inspired, gain hope, and raise your hand to get the help that you need. You are not alone, I promise you. So in that vein, let me introduce my next guest. Super pumped here to introduce Gabriel Smith, Gabe, as we all call him. Gabe's a 45-year-old, currently lives in Reno, Nevada, where he was born and raised. Gabe's currently the owner and co-founder of Precision Resilience Training Group and the nonprofit, the Resilient Lives Foundation. Gabe joined the U.S. Army in July 2002 as a Bradley Systems Maintainer, a.k.a. diesel mechanic. Gabe deployed to Iraq twice, once in 2003 and again in 2005. Gabe eventually left the Army in 2008. He then bounced from job to job for several years and did everything from heavy equipment mechanic to tattoo artist to security. Gabe was hired on with the Reno PD in 2016, shortly after joining the SWAT team and sniper team. He did 9 years total with the department, 7 on SWAT and 5 as a sniper. Gabe left law enforcement in 2026 to pursue both businesses full-time. So in the spirit of transparency, I always like to tell when I have a personal connection with my guests. Gabe and I had met during training at GBRS Group, DJ Shipley and Cole Fackler's company at SOF Stronghold Solutions in Destin, Florida in April of 2026. So we've been friends for about 2 years. We hit it off. We've kept in touch ever since. We're both our biggest supporters, and Gabe's just a great dude. So I wanted him on here to tell the story because it's a pretty powerful one. So Gabe, welcome to the show, brother. Fantastic to have you on.
Dude, I appreciate it, Mike. I'm truly honored to be on with you, dude. I'm always watching your podcast, just read your book. Like the book, phenomenal. So it is definitely an honor to be on the podcast.
Thank you, brother.
It.
That truly means a lot, man. Truly. Especially for a guy like yourself. The real guys are the ones that really, really do it for me, to be honest with you, man. Guys who walk the walk and can talk the talk. So I love it, man. We're both here to help others. So as we see, you started a nonprofit and your training company, man. I love it. So listen, let's get to know you a little better. Where'd you grow up? How'd you grow up? What kind of child? I know this is a wild story, so guys, sit
Yeah.
back, get ready to be entertained.
Yeah. So born in Reno, Nevada in 1980. My parents divorced. I was pretty young. I was probably 4 or 5 years old. I had another sister too, younger sister, and it had a pretty big impact on me when my dad left. We didn't really see him too much. He was he was a functioning alcoholic for pretty much a majority of my life.
Okay.
And then my mom, she met another guy and almost immediately married, and he had two um, daughters. We're both older than me. And this is something that I actually had just been thinking about recently, and actually one of my most recent journeys that I had that impacted me. And I never really thought about it until now, like almost 35, 38 years later. But my sisters would do some pretty inappropriate stuff with me when my parents would leave and go to the grocery store. They would just take my young sister. So it was me with two older sisters. And yeah, weird stuff happening, just sexual stuff
Wow.
that me being like, a 7 or 8 year old, I have no idea what we're doing. They just say we're playing house or whatever.
And
But
how old were they, Gabe, at the time?
I
Approximately.
want to say one was probably 10 and the other was like 12.
Okay.
So, and I don't know where they came up with this shit, like being as young as they were, but we would have babysitters too that would come over and do some strange stuff with them. And I think that's kind of where it
Wow.
started. But yeah, and that stuff just hit me the other day. I was like, holy shit, like I'd totally forgotten all about it. But
So it was
I
repressed memories,
imagine,
you think?
oh yeah, for sure. It
Wow.
was one of those that I felt ashamed for a long time. Um, and I think I completely just, buried it
Yeah.
in my memory department or whatever. So yeah, and then so they end up getting divorced, and my mom, she dates a bunch of other dudes. So dudes like, you know, constantly coming in and out. And then finally, when I'm around 15, she marries another guy, and now they're actually still married to this day. Very good guy.
Okay, good.
But as a teenager, like I'm 15 years old, very rebellious. I'm already like drinking and smoking pot, experimenting with some other drugs and stuff. She gets married again, and I'm just, being a shithead and rebellious, like thinking that all of her attention should be on me. So
Of
I'm,
course.
I go sideways, and I dive pretty deep into alcohol. Like I would say I was probably an alcoholic pretty early, like 15, 16 years old. I
Wow.
would drink until I was blackout drunk, doing stuff all the time that I wouldn't remember. And I'd have either like clues of it the next day, or my friends would tell me I'd done this stuff. Um, so then when I was 17, running with a pretty bad crew, but I had one good buddy um, who actually I'm still friends with him to this day, but he's been in prison for the last 14 or 15 years.
Damn.
He unfortunately never changed his ways, but him and I would do a lot of pretty shitty stuff where we would go and steal money from businesses and people. So we'd go into like the back rooms. We'd go to the mall and like go in back rooms and, find cash bags, or we'd steal purses, like stuff that like to this day, I still look back on and I'm like, man, like I feel like shit. I know I caused these people so much just stress and
Sure.
pain and hurt. Because they're just people working at the mall, right? And we're
Oh, yeah.
stealing their whole identity, throwing their, purse in the trash after we just take what we want out of it. So then eventually, when I'm, 17, we had a night where I get blackout drunk, end up deciding to play this deal, stealing money by myself at a casino, and don't remember much of it at all. End up waking up the next morning with over $600 in my pocket and a broken hand. And then I get a call from the police after I turned 18, so probably like 3 months later. Get a call from a police detective. They want to talk to me and go down there and get charged with a felony. I ended up fessing up to it because they had video of me doing it.
How'd you
I
actually get
talked
the
to my
money?
friends. So I'd ended up backstage of like down in the casino area. They had a little stage where like local bands would play for, people just playing slots.
Yep.
And I ended up in the backstage area. And I just remember like a glimpse of it where I saw a rack with a bunch of different bags, like people's personal belongings. And I just started going through all their stuff and found a bunch of cash. So this was back in 1997.
Okay.
And at that time, I want to say felony level grand larceny was $600 or $650, but I had stolen whatever was right over that mark, so it was a felony level amount of cash, grand larceny.
Yep.
So yeah, I got hit with that, and fortunately, I committed it when I was 17.
Yeah.
So it was on my juvenile record. Went on probation, and that was like my first kind of wake up call where I was like, "Fuck, man, I probably shouldn't be drinking because I'm doing some pretty bad stuff." So I get put on probation and go sober for a little over a year. And then once
Just
things
cold
are going
turkey?
really good, yeah,
Nice.
cold turkey.
Okay.
It sucked.
Oh, I'm sure, bro. Whew. And just so people know, I remember talking to an ER doctor a few years ago. We were talking about people detoxing off of opioids and detoxing off alcohol. If you guys don't know, alcohol could kill you when you detox cold turkey. Opioids will not. It'll be painful either way. But if you have a serious alcohol problem, man, don't do it on your own and don't go cold turkey because that could end up in your death.
Yeah. I mean, fortunately, I think I was young enough and somewhat healthy enough,
Yeah.
that it wasn't a huge issue for me, but it was
Yep.
it was rough.
Gotta be.
So yeah, I went sober, ended up getting 2 jobs, worked at a bank and at a video rental store, got a car, got my own apartment. Things started going smooth. And then, I was still hanging out with the same people. So I was like, you know what? Everything's good. Maybe I'll go ahead and have a beer. And within 3 months, and lost both jobs, lost the car, got evicted from the apartment, just spiraled right back down to rock bottom. And
Amazing
then,
how quickly it happens.
oh man, yeah.
And how's mom during all this? Is she like involved or she's kind of hands off? She's like, I just can't deal with this anymore. Today's episode is brought to you by Cutting Edge Testosterone Therapy, a veteran owned, family run clinic led by a retired first responder. At Cutting Edge, they help men and women rebuild strength, focus, and vitality through advanced hormone therapy, peptides, and performance based weight management. Whether you've served your country, your community, or your family, Cutting Edge helps you get your edge back safely, professionally, and with people who understand what service takes out of you. Cutting Edge offers individualized care with no monthly fees or contracts. Learn more at cuttingedgetestosteronetherapy.com. Cutting Edge Testosterone Therapy, built by those who serve for those who still do.
I'm kind of bouncing back and forth between my mom and my dad's house because
Okay.
they're both fed up with me. But I think at that point, neither of them were, like they didn't want to see me out on the street. So they would, let me stay at their house until I pissed them off enough. And then they boot me out and I'd go back. And then I was couch surfing with a lot of friends too, living in
Okay.
their places. Yeah, I did that until I was about 21 and got arrested many more times. A lot of
Really?
it just, misdemeanor stuff. So I would get really drunk, and I was usually, when I got drunk and like blackout drunk, I would get crazy angry, or it was like the extreme. I'd be super angry or super emotional. Um, but I had gone up to this Virginia City like camel races and got super hammered. Don't remember a whole lot of it, but I ended up breaking a bunch of these benches. It was like this old West town. So Virginia City, Nevada, it's all like buildings from the 1800s. Like they've kept them all together, and it's a kind of a tourist attraction place.
Okay.
So they have the wooden sidewalks, and then the benches are attached to like the wooden posts. And I was pissed off about something, who knows. Got kicked out of a bar, so I go out and just start kicking benches, breaking all these benches. And then I just remember a little bit of being chased through the road by some cops, like dirt road, and they're just chasing me, a little foot pursuit. And I'm crazy drunk, so of course I didn't get away.
Yeah.
But those cops were fairly nice. They just cited me and let my friend's parents come pick us up. But I never went to court.
Nice.
So then later on, I am drinking and driving, got a 40 in my lap. Again, pissed off about something, who knows what, and driving around, hit the curb, both right side tires blow out.
Oof.
And I'm way far away from anywhere that I would want to walk to. So I just decided to sit in the car, leave the heater on, finish my beer, and go to sleep. And then I wake up to fire department, police knocking on the window. Pretty sure I got some carbon monoxide poisoning that day because I felt like complete ass just breathing in the stuff from the heater and the emissions and all that.
Yep.
Fortunately, I don't get charged with a DUI because I had a warrant in Virginia City for that previous event. So go up to Virginia City, see the judge, and she's like, you're going to do, 5 days in jail. So sitting in this jail cell for 5 days, and I see an Army commercial. And I'm like, all right, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to join the Army. Need to get out of this town, away from all these people, and just restart my life.
Yeah.
Because for a majority of the time that I was doing all this stuff, like, I never enjoyed it. It was always in the back of my mind. I was like, I hate this lifestyle. I don't want to live like this. But I really didn't have enough, I guess, discipline to like fall back on and pull myself out of it.
Yeah. Plus, I'm sure you're dealing with a ton of anger. You don't even know the origination. I mean, I'm sure it's to do with your parents' divorce. What happened to you with your sisters. Like, we don't process these things. We don't even know how to process these things. They just happen to us, and we kind of bury them, not realizing that everything that you go through in life is going to somehow affect you. It doesn't just go away.
Right. Yeah. It pretty much always has an impact in one way or another. Right.
Absolutely.
So yeah, joined the Army. That was in 2002. So I turned 22 years old in basic training. I was the old guy. Like,
really, at 22, huh?
A lot of the guys I was in basic training with, they're 17 or 18 years old, so they're calling me grandpa, and I'm 22.
That's so funny. Yeah,
right?
So much more mature, than they were, though. I can't imagine, like, the 4 years of life experience you had compared to a 17 or an 18-year-old. Like, so it's just a vast, 4 years is nothing, but in some respects, those particular 4 years, that's a vast sea of knowledge in those 4 years, even if you're screwing up.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I felt like while I was going through basic training, it kind of felt like I was, hanging out with high school kids again, like, really no life experience. But I did really well with it. Made sergeant within 3 years. But I deployed right after basic training and my AIT, advanced individual training. Went straight to Iraq in March of 2003, did my first tour there. It was a little over 12 months, and then came back for about 10 months. And while I was back, of course, in the military, drinking is a huge, staple for partying and having fun in your time off. So I jumped right back into drinking right after I came back from the deployment and spent about 3 months hitting it hard, getting blackout drunk again. Ended up back on base, like with my car, not knowing how I got back to base, getting kicked out of clubs and bars. Because again, like I said, I was that angry, just crazy drunk.
Yep.
So then after that 3 months, I just, again, I'm like, all right, I got to quit. Otherwise, I'm going to end up, fucking my life up pretty bad while I'm in the military, getting dishonorable discharge, also I just felt like shit all the time. So
Mm-hmm.
waking up at 6 a.m. every morning to do PT and being hungover or still drunk. And like during that too, like we were getting guys were coming into the barracks, they were having, coke. I was doing coke. I was
Damn.
doing pills and stuff. But a lot of it was usually I'd be drinking and then get that buzz going and then decision making and
Oh yeah.
good choices just go out the window.
Hell
So
yeah, bro.
it's
That's a
like,
big
hey,
ass
we got
window,
this.
man. They
Yeah.
fly out of that motherfucker.
Oh yeah.
Guys, check this out. Famous last
Yep.
words, man.
Yep. So yeah, then the coke would come out and all the stuff that, if I was sober, I'd be like, no, I wouldn't
Yeah.
touch that. But yeah, so 3 months hard drinking and just called it. I was like, can't do it. So then I jumped pretty hard into once I sobered myself up enough and felt comfortable, jumped hard in like extreme sports. So I was skateboarding, riding BMX, doing a lot of dirt bike stuff, and that helped keep my focus. I guess kind of substituted with the adrenaline for the substances,
Yep.
and then do another deployment. Come back in 2005, and then jump right back into doing all the extreme stuff. And
Now, how were deployments for you? Is it tough? You going through it? You seeing crazy stuff, or you kind of removed?
so, yeah, I would say like the first deployment, because that was the very start of the war in Iraq. So we didn't have anything established over there. There weren't like FOBs, these forward operating bases.
Yep.
We're just living in our vehicles and convoying. So like day one, I remember sitting in this 5-ton with this other guy, Specialist Williams. He was the welder. He was the driver for it, and I'm the passenger. And we're sitting on the border of Kuwait, lined up, just waiting to roll over the border. And both of us are like, fuck, man, we have no idea what's about to happen. Like, we could be dead tomorrow. And we just started like, man, we talked about all the crazy stuff that might go down because you're being 22 years old and you're about to go into a war zone.
Yep.
Like the shit that goes through your head. Yeah, so we bonded pretty good through that experience, just sitting and waiting, and then deployed. Just rolled north through Iraq, and we ended up around the Tikrit area, which Tikrit was Saddam's hometown.
Okay.
So we spent a lot of our deployment over there hearing about sightings of Saddam and then, going outside the wire and trying to track him down, which my unit actually did end up catching Saddam, but I had gone home on mid-tour leave. So it was around December of 2023. And I go home on mid-tour leave and I'm watching on CNN that Saddam's caught and they found him in the little spider hole. And I'm seeing my buddies. I'm
Really?
like, damn it, I missed it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sucks.
So, I mean, it's still cool. Like,
Oh yeah.
because I got to go back and check out, the spider hole that he was hiding in. And
Yep.
but pretty wild to watch it on the TV when you're, home and you see all your buddies.
Oh, that's gotta be crazy. Now I thought Special Forces didn't Delta guys track him down, or was it conventional units?
So there was a unit that was attached to us. They came and stayed. We were at a train station near Tikrit that we had taken over, and they had come right before I had gone on mid-tour leave. Saw these dudes roll in and was like, who the fuck are these guys? And some of the guys I was with, they're like, oh, we think they're like Delta or Special Forces. I never talked to them or anything, but yeah, they were a part of it, and my guys got to roll with them. So
Nice.
yeah, pretty
That's
cool.
Awesome. Oh yeah.
So, but there was stuff over there that, I saw that, being 22 years old, you don't typically see people getting blown in half by, 50 cals or even guys just shot and killed. So it had an impact. But again, like when you're over there, you don't really have the time to process that kind of stuff.
Of course.
It's just keep going. It's a constant, like 12-month long, just adrenaline rush. So I didn't really think about it a lot until like later on in life.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense, man. You can't stop down in there. Like I tell people, it's just so much less of seriousness. But like if you go on PD on 80 cases and stuff, and you're working people, like I don't even look at them as human beings, man. You're so focused. If you think about this guy as a father or her as a mom, or these, then they have kids and everything else, man. You lose your focus. You have to stay hyper focused on this thing that you're working on, and you can't
Yeah.
think of it as anything else but that thing. It sounds cold, but you know the deal, man. You just
Oh
can't lose
yeah.
focus,
Yeah.
or else you're
Yeah.
done.
It's your job, right? You got to remain professional on the scene. Like, dude, I got to the point where I wouldn't feel anything on scene,
Yep.
you know?
Yeah, I tell people like if I was at a triple homicide or a lost dog call, man, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. I mean, I had a personality.
Right.
I pretty much deflected everything with a sense of humor, but as far as my demeanor, man, that shit was straight across, not feeling anything. And it's great for those careers, but outside of it, man, it's not usually too advantageous in many areas,
Oh, no, not at all.
as you know. So, all right, so you get out after your second deployment, and then
Yeah.
where are you stationed now?
So it's Fort Carson, Colorado. I was stationed there for my entire 6 years that I was in. So when I get out of the second deployment, um, I jump right back into the dirt bike and BMX and all that. And I'm going like hard in the paint. I'm trying to do like the biggest airs and all this crazy stuff. And I end up getting injuries, break my collarbone, fracture my chin, dislocate my jaw, like all this different. They're all from different
I was just
crashes.
about to ask you about injuries because that shit is begging to be you're begging to be injured. I mean, they're
Oh
awesome with
yeah,
those sports, man. Especially dirt bike. Holy shit!
yeah.
You
So
get it.
and that time being 24, 25, I still bounce back pretty quick.
Yep.
Um, but uh, the hospital starts feeding me pain pills.
I was
So
just about to ask you.
Percocet. Like when I fractured my chin, I chipped my tooth and dislocated my jaw.
Oh,
I go to the ER. ER gives me a shit ton of Percocet, and then I have to go to the dentist the next day. And this is all military on base, the hospital and the dentist to get my tooth fixed. And they give me even more Percocet.
wow.
So I've got like, 80, 90 Percocet just for this one injury. And me, very addictive personality. And as soon as I take one of those pills, I'm like, this is nice. And for me, the way I am with anything, alcohol, drugs, anything that's like mind altering,
Yep.
like, all right, this feels good. What will it feel like if I take some more? So I would do it to the extreme. And I
I
got
feel you.
myself a pretty good narcotic pain pill habit. Um, so when I get out of the army, I'm still hooked on them.
Now, how are you getting
And
them?
then,
Just through the army doctors? Or are
oh
you
yeah,
going to the
man.
street?
At that time,
Oh,
they're handing them out like candy.
really?
This is really before like the opioid epidemic is, a big thing. I think this
Yep.
is still around the time frame that like, OxyContin is safe and not addictive.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're handing them out like crazy. Um, and then when I get out, I immediately go hit up the VA. VA, they throw me on clonazepam, which is Klonopin. So it's an anti-anxiety medication, which I had no idea at the time when they prescribed it to me that your body becomes very dependent on it.
Yeah.
So I took that for several years and I actually took it how it was prescribed. I think I might have exceeded my dosage a few times just to try to get like fucked up, but I never did.
Okay.
Um, so after I'm out of the army, I continue my habit with the pills. I'm not drinking at all though. So I think kind of in my mind, I'm like, well, I'm not drinking alcohol, so I'm
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Exactly.
But then when I start getting my first like withdrawals, like because I don't have the pain pills or um, like there were times where they couldn't give me the prescription clonazepam and I would start going into withdrawals for that, which that stuff, man, that's almost just as bad as like the narcotic pain meds.
Oh,
The withdrawals are insane.
yeah. They're bad, man. I mean, thank God I think I only did 1 or 2 nights, man. I tell a story. I was taking Tramadol and I was taking, I think the most I ever did was 55 in a day. Started off at like 22, 23 in the morning and just went up. And it wasn't a one-day thing, man. I was taking them regularly. And I FedEx didn't make their delivery once or twice. So I was DTing overnight. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, I understand why these heroin addicts do what they do, because that was the worst feeling I've ever had in my life, man. You're literally crawling out of your skin, flipping every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing that can compare it to that feeling. It is the worst.
Yeah. It's no longer trying to get high. Now it's just trying to not get sick.
Yep.
Right. So, and that was what was happening with me. I was just trying to avoid the withdrawals. So I had married, this is my first marriage. I got married to her back in 2009, like shortly after I got out of the Army. And she, I can't remember exactly why, but she was getting prescribed a shit ton of Norco. So they were, I want to say like 10 milligram of Vicodin with like, it was like a 10-325 is what they were.
Okay.
So it's like acetophamine or however that's pronounced.
Yeah, acetaminophen.
And then, yeah,
Yep.
like that. And Vicodin.
Yep.
So I was using a lot of her pills, and it got to the point like where I was stealing them from her. I would go down and fill her prescription because she'd get this big bottle, man. Just like it was like 130 pills for the month.
Damn.
So I'd go down and fill the prescription, and I wouldn't tell her that I had it, and I would just burn through those pills super quick. And things
What
obviously
happens when she
didn't.
goes to refill and it's already refilled?
Oh, then she finds out and she's fucking fuming and pissed.
Oh yeah.
She gets screwed because then she doesn't have them.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the treachery of you lying, and then she's not able to take her pills for whatever condition she's dealing with. So, yeah, not good for a marriage, that's for sure.
No, it didn't go well. We're not married anymore. But and that was, like 100% me. I was in that state, like being an addict. Like I was manipulating and stealing from anybody. It didn't matter if it was her or family, just to feed my habit.
Yep.
And I destroyed a lot of relationships that took me a long time to build back any kind of trust with people.
Sure.
So then in about 2010, I'm just completely lost. I'm not working at all. I'm just living off my VA disability.
Okay.
And pretty much my wife is supporting me. She's got a full-time job. I'm just sitting at home. I remember sitting at home and, dude, I would be taking pills and I'd be huffing like dust off, that
Ooh.
freaking,
Yeah.
yeah, that's how bad of a spot I was in. And then finally one day, like we get in a blowout argument. She kicks me out of the house. I go to a motel room, buy some booze. I hadn't drank since 2004 at this point, but I go buy booze and take all my pills and just proceed to drink as much as I can. I get blackout drunk. I've taken already all my clonazepam and whatever pain pills I had, which probably wouldn't have been enough to kill me if I hadn't called somebody and told them where I was at. So
Okay.
basically, I called my mom. I don't remember doing it, and I don't remember how I told her where I was at, what hotel I was at.
Yep.
The only thing I remember is just being on the floor of the motel room and seeing some paramedics above me because they were doing like that, the sternum rub.
Yeah.
And that would kind of bring me out of it a little bit. But then the next thing I remember is waking up in the hospital. It was like 2 or 3 days later.
Damn.
Someone sticking a syringe into my abdomen. And that one was the one that like really snapped me out of it. So I was like, fuck, man. That was almost the end of the line. I think I'm here for a reason. If I just pounded that much booze and all that clonazepam, I'm still here. And since that day in 2010, which was actually back in February, just hit my 16 years clean and sober
Nice.
this month. Yeah, since then, that was like I cannot touch any of that stuff ever again. And the best choice that I ever made, man, like,
Oh, sure.
because my life has just, it's been so much better without it.
Oh yeah. Listen. There's nothing positive that shit brings. None of it. I
No,
don't care.
no.
If you drink a glass of wine a day, yeah, all right, maybe get some health benefits. Past that, no, there's nothing that it's going to bring. It's going to bring positivity to your life. So, did you actually attend a rehab facility at that point?
So I was in the VA. So the hospital that I woke up in, they transferred me once I was in stable condition. They transferred me over to the VA hospital,
Okay.
and I go into the mental health ward there, and I spend 5 days detoxing there. And that was like, again, I'm getting off narcotic pain meds and clonazepam, and that was by far the worst experience ever. Like they didn't give me anything to
No Suboxone or
like
anything?
nothing,
Holy
nothing.
shit.
So I'm just cold turkey in it pretty much. Actually, they were giving me like it was basically like Benadryl, but it's like a prescription form of Benadryl,
Okay.
hydroxyzine, I think it was what it was. They would give that to me to help calm things down, but really it didn't do shit. So I was pretty much awake for like 3 or 4 days, just going through these withdrawals, just feeling like absolute death. Just sweating through my bed sheets, freaking sick as fuck for the entire time.
God.
And finally got over the withdrawals from the pain meds, but the clonazepam, like taking that for the couple years that I did, that had a serious effect just on my mental clarity.
Yeah,
So
like your
for
psyche.
yeah, for about 90 days, man, I felt like I was living in a dream. Like everything was just so I couldn't leave my house. Like my anxiety would get so bad,
Really.
and it just didn't feel like reality for about 3 months.
Wow.
It was awful.
I can imagine, bro. That's a long time.
Yeah, yeah, and I couldn't sleep for shoot probably the first like 4 weeks, and it was
Ooh.
just like hour or two naps here and there. Otherwise, I'd just be up in the middle of the night watching TV, just pacing around the house. It was awful. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
No, no, that's horrendous, bro. I can't even imagine that they. Why would they put you through that without? Because when I went to rehab for the terminal um, addiction, they gave me Suboxone for the first few days, so it was definitely an easy taper. I can't imagine having to go through that with the amount that I was taking. In fact, I went
Right.
originally. I wanted to do outpatient, and like you are taking such massive amounts of tramadol that we think it's unsafe, and we want to wean you off in you know um, in a facility. So I went
Yeah.
there and basically detoxed for 12 days, and then I left and did the outpatient for the next few months. But I knew I was done. It wasn't like I don't know. I can't even tell you. Like most of the people I were in there with were waiting to get out to get high again. I'm like, this will never happen again, man. I remember the first night, bro. I don't know if it was similar to you, man. I'm sitting there just looking at the other three roommates, cool dudes, but I'm crying. I'm like, man, how the fuck did I get here? Just tried to live this honorable life, and like the one
Yeah.
thought. It's funny. I just remember this a few weeks ago. I didn't even put it in my book, but the one thought that was like breaking me is like, no one's ever gonna look at me the same again. Like that was just breaking me. And
Oh
for those
yeah.
of you here, and I'm sure Gabe could say the same thing. Like that's not the case. You got to come out. If you have to make amends, you have to make amends. I wasn't really stealing anything from people. I was able to get it from my doctor and online, so there was nothing like that. But I had apologized to several people. My parents had no idea. That was humiliating. Admitted to them, and then you have to forgive yourself because you cannot. It's like self hatred,
100%.
man. You can't do that. You eventually have to just reconcile the fact that you made a mistake. It's not you. This is what you did, and you screwed up, and you're not going to do it again.
Right. And well, I mean, like for both of us, right? So going through that, as much as it sucked and as embarrassing as it can be, at the same time, like being okay with it and seeing that, I came out of that a lot stronger. I've I know now what I don't want to do anymore, and hopefully I can share this story to other people that'll help them uh, in the same path.
Yep.
But
I'm thankful now I went through it, to be honest with you, because
yeah,
now,
yeah,
you and I could talk to these guys, these men and women, and we have absolute credibility because we went through this shit ourselves. So you come to
right,
us with something like that, we're not going to judge you. We're going to help you
right.
as much as we can, and we're going to tell you, about our experiences too. And the shit ain't pretty. So, I truly believe I was put through that for a reason. It sounds like you do the same exact
Oh
thing.
yeah, 100%, man, 100%. And I try to, I don't go out and preach it every day, but I want to tell people, especially if I see that they're, struggling, and it's something that I can at least share my story with them and how bad things got, and hope that, maybe it'll help them. Because like I said, I would never wish what I was going through on my worst enemy. Because
Yeah.
I mean, that was enough for me. I was like, fuck, I'm never touching any pharmaceutical again. That's
Yep.
how bad it screwed with me. So, but just being okay with your story, man. Like, we all have shit that we do and we're embarrassed of, or we have remorse or guilt for. But it's learning to be okay with it. Like, hey, that's not me anymore. I'm going to close that chapter and move forward, as opposed to, living in that guilt
Yeah.
and the victim mentality of, poor me.
Exactly.
It's,
It could destroy you twice. Once when you go through it,
yeah,
and once when you heal from it. If you keep going back to that, man, you have to forgive yourself at some point. And it was funny because I remember when I first started doing this, I was talking to a mutual friend Taylor, and I'm like, bro, I have to go public with all the stuff I did. If I don't, I'm a poser, man. I'm like, I can't believe I have to like tell the world that I was fucking in rehab. And it was hard at first. Now it's no problem. I forgive myself. I've talked about it, ad
yeah,
nauseum. It's in my book. But like even in the book before it got released, I'm like, man, everyone's gonna know now. It's in the book. It just hit differently when I was writing it and putting it in words and then reading it. But I'm like, fuck it, man. It's what I went through. I have to send this.
yeah,
Again, I'm a poser if I don't talk about everything I've gone through.
yeah, for sure. And just the fact that it might reach one person,
Yep.
that it could just possibly help one person is enough to be
Yeah.
able to put that on paper or to put it on a podcast.
Bro, I don't know if you saw
So,
this story. It killed me. I was unbelievable the other day. I got a DM from a guy, California, and what I was I
oh,
have a
yeah,
clip of me and Wiz Buckley talking, and unfortunately Wiz was sexually abused when he was young, and I was acknowledging that, and then speaking further about the need for men to heal from that pain, no matter when it occurred. It could be 50 years before, but it's still in there, and just
yeah,
really talking about the amount of sexual abuse men suffered. This guy said, "I heard you talk." I ended up confiding in a good friend of mine. He was sexually abused as well, and now, I continued it with him, and he's getting a therapist now. And he's like, I didn't realize how much it affected me. I'm like, brother, it affected the entirety of your life. I'm sure it invaded
oh,
to
yeah,
every facet of your life. And I'm like, I promise you, though, you can heal. I said, I've never suffered it, thank God, but I know plenty of men who have. Do what you have to do, and I promise you, you can put that shit in the rear view. And that stuff like that like blows me away. That you can,
yeah,
just I affected this guy's life. Like it's so powerful to me.
dude. And that's what makes it all worth it, right? Like,
Yep.
just putting this shit out there so that people don't feel alone. Because
Like
I know
yeah,
for me, and I've heard you say it too, like, when you're in that hole, you feel so alone. You feel like nobody else understands what the
yep.
hell you're going through, because you don't understand exactly what the hell you're
Yeah,
going through
exactly. I
either.
didn't really know, man, until I saw
So,
that podcast, and I'm like, holy
yeah,
fuck, I think I know what's happening. But you don't want to tell anyone because you're embarrassed. You don't even know how to explain it. Like I'm in this
no,
depression rage. Like I don't even know what's going on. I know in my head though, I'm like, man, is this what life is going to be for the rest of my life? Like just this unhappiness. Like this
right,
sucks. So again, like I don't want to get arrogant and say suicidal ideology or ideation never entered my head, but it doesn't mean it wouldn't have down the line if it kept going. So
oh yeah,
thank God I was healed. So awesome, brother. So you get out,
yeah,
rehab's done, you put it in the rear view. So what's your next move after that?
man. I'm pretty lost. Don't know what I want to do. So I end up doing security for a casino here in town. And before that, I'd been doing a little dabbled in tattooing, and then some heavy equipment mechanic stuff, but I didn't really enjoy it that much.
Okay.
So I get into security and I'm like, I really like this. It's kind of that same military camaraderie. So then I start applying to police departments. And it takes me about 5 years. Like I apply over and over and over again. Usually it's, first it starts with me not passing the physical fitness test. So I'm like, all right, now I got to dial in physical fitness is what I got to do. And then I'll not pass the background check with one of the departments. But then finally, 2016, I get a call. They're like, hey, we want to pick you up and put you in the academy, but you got 2 weeks to get through all of the background check, the psych eval, all that stuff. I was like, sign me up. Let's do it. So quit my job. I was a security supervisor for a hospital. Started with Reno PD, and I'll tell you what, man, like sitting in the academy, and even when I got out and I was driving a patrol car, I would think that it was not reality. I'm like, how did I go from doing all the shit that I had done? I always thought that someone was going to come in to the academy and just grab me and be like, sorry, man, we made a mistake. Like, we didn't mean to hire you, but never happened. So it was pretty unreal for quite a while. And
I can imagine.
Yeah, did the job for it was 9 years last November. And man, I love everything about the job. Like, did patrol the entire time, did SWAT, did sniper, and I absolutely love doing the SWAT team. Like, just getting the extra training that we would get with those guys, being on call 24/7.
How big was your SWAT team?
So we're slated for like 25 guys.
Oh,
so we would only typically have like between 15 and 20.
Okay.
But it was a good group of dudes. I really enjoyed it.
Awesome.
And that was, for me, like, I really enjoyed patrol because, right, going to like the hot calls and getting to do all the fun stuff. I love that part of it. But the SWAT team, like, being the guys that show up and tell patrol to kick rocks because we're taking over, whatever critical incident it is. I loved that aspect, being able to, go into a house and conduct, the CQB and all that stuff through the house, looking for the guy that's barricaded or whatever. Just absolutely loved it.
Yep.
And that's like you and I met at GBRS because I got so into the training aspect of it. Like, I just wanted to know more and more and more.
Yeah.
So I did GBRS, I did Orion Training Group, Tactical Cowboy. I did all these different, like, I was paying out of pocket to go do all this different training because I wanted to be the best.
Yeah.
And I guess kind of like my addictive personality, right? Like, once I get my mind set on something, I'm just like,
oh yeah,
full steam ahead.
Good addictions to have, though.
Yeah, for sure. So even like my fitness was a huge part. Like, I always want to be that guy that I'm an asset no matter what. I'm physically fit. I know the tactics. I can shoot. My mind is clear and I'm capable all the time.
Yep.
So, but then I had a pretty gnarly moment in December of 2024. So I'm on patrol. It's a pretty slow day. I'm sitting in my patrol car, watching this car that has fictitious plates. It's unoccupied, sitting on the side of the road. I'm waiting for a driver maybe pop up and, I can stop it. But I hear some of the traffic guys come onto the main frequency and they're like, hey, all of traffic, go to the traffic channel. And I would never typically switch over to the traffic channel because I didn't really care what the fuck they had going on.
Yeah.
But for that reason, someday I guess I was just so bored, I switch over and I hear the guys, one of the guys comes on, he's like, hey, do you know if any of the SWAT guys are on duty today? They're like, yeah, we got a couple guys. I say, all right, well, we just found one of the SWAT medics had shot and killed himself. And he did it at the paramedics station.
Damn.
It's my buddy Patrick. He had this little hidey hole up in the attic that he lived in California, but he would work in Reno. So he didn't have anywhere to stay. So he'd sleep in the attic.
Okay.
And yeah, I knew he was struggling and I'd reached out quite a few times, but he ended up taking his own life that day. And that, for some reason, like I was telling you earlier, like I've lost buddies when I was in the military, and even found out about guys, taking their own lives afterwards. And it impacted me, but never like this.
Yeah.
And I went to the scene and, I saw the body bag coming out, and that just like, for some reason, his death opened the floodgates of everything I'd been compartmentalizing from the job, uh, where it just all like over the course of the next couple months, like everything, I'd see something and it would trigger a memory of something that I hadn't thought about for years or, months. So I spent a few months like spiraling pretty bad into depression. Started calling in sick to work. Wasn't really wanting to go to work. I was finding myself when I would go into work, I was looking for a fight. Like I was pissed off, and I would go in, and this was not my style ever until after my buddy died. But I was always so professional. But after, man, it was like I would go on scene and I would antagonize guys to try to get them to fight with me, and it worked a few times. And then I stepped back and noticed, I was like, shit, this is not good. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to end up getting myself hurt or killed, or one of my partners hurt or killed, because I'm being an asshole.
Yeah. Or jammed up.
Yeah. So I have a very close person in my life who I find out that they're a guide for DMT and psilocybin. So in February last year, I get with this guy and we do a guided psilocybin DMT journey. And man, that, like, I was scared shitless to do it because, one, I hadn't used anything in, over a decade, like 15 years at that point.
Yep.
And the thought of it was scary as fuck. But I did it, and it was the most, man, just the things that I saw and I felt.
Can you talk about them?
Yeah, so with DMT, it's a lot of like the geometrical patterns and stuff.
Yep.
First, it was all like demon stuff. And I could feel like my whole body was just tensed up for this entire like 15 to 20 minutes, where I just felt like anger just pulsating through my body. And then once the geometric patterns kind of faded, then I saw my buddy Patrick. Sorry, this one's a hard one for me.
Take your time, brother. Been there, done that.
So I saw my buddy Patrick, and he's wearing his SWAT kit, and he comes up to me, and this guy, like, he would always give me a hug. Like, I would never give dudes a hug until I met this guy Patrick. Like, every time he saw any one of us, dude, big hug. So I see him while I'm in this journey, and he comes up to me and he says, "I'm okay." And he gives me a hug. And dude, that, like, the way that impacted me when I came out of it, man, I was like, all right, I need to do something to help all these guys and gals that are struggling with the mental health, because there's so much of it in the first responder community, in the veteran community. But yeah, and that's where I came up with precision resilience. And the idea behind it is, one, I'm trying to give law enforcement more training, because you and I both know, we don't get enough training being cops.
Yeah. No,
So teaching firearms, fitness, that kind of stuff. And then also diving into like the mental health side of things. And then now I'm working on this nonprofit. It's the Resilient Lives Foundation, which is going to focus primarily on veterans and first responders, combining the two, to be able to use physical fitness, red light therapy, cold plunge, all the different things, heal the body. And then we're going to have therapists on staff that do EMDR,
Nice.
stuff like that, and guys that are veterans, the VA, which is something I'm actually doing right now, is ketamine therapy,
Okay.
which I have nothing bad to say about ketamine therapy. It's been an absolute, I can't tell you how much it's helped me in the last 5 years. Like since my buddy Patrick died, I went to 4 more funerals that year. My stepmom died, my dad died, my dog died the same week that my dad died. We had another, one of my buddies that I work with took his own life in August.
Damn.
So this last year was just like it was a roller coaster.
Jesus.
And thank God for the ketamine therapy, because I was going through that like a pretty intensive dosage, where it was twice a week.
So
But
how is that different than like the DMT? Because I've never done it myself, so I'm curious about that.
so the ketamine therapy, it's somewhat, they say it's a psychedelic, but I don't get the feel of the same as like the psilocybin or the DMT.
Okay.
It's more for me like just the cognitive, being able to process a lot of the traumas and stuff. Like really, your brain just kind of goes wherever. So I'm hooked up to an IV for it's about 40 minutes of ketamine, and your brain just kind of takes you wherever. And a lot of it that I've gone through, like processed through, are calls that I'd been on, rollover accident where I saw this 11-year-old girl that was ejected and the car smashed her after. We're doing CPR on this lady in front of her 8-year-old son, and the father's like yelling and screaming at me and telling the 8-year-old son that cops are, pieces of shit. And yeah,
You can't
like,
make it up, man.
yeah, but processing all that stuff, it's very hard to explain. But like I had one experience with the DMT where I like picked that girl's body up off the road and I handed her body to her mom, and just something with that, like it helped me so much. Like it still sucks to think about, right? But I've processed more of it and I'm okay with it. So it's one thing that the VA does offer. It will pay for veterans to do it. And the
Okay.
place that we have here in Reno, Nevada is extraordinary. It's called Radiance Ketamine. Like I
That's
have
awesome.
a dude that comes in and sits with me before and kind of as the ketamine is kicking in, and he'll ask what my goals are for the journey, and we'll kind of dive into stuff that whatever it is I'm dealing with that day,
Yeah.
and it's super beneficial. I've seen other videos of places where they do ketamine therapy, and it's guys just kind of sitting in like a white hospital room, and they're just getting it pumped in their veins. They don't have an eye mask or headset or anything.
Oh, really?
So I think it's different wherever you go, but the benefits there, right? So like the medicine stays in your system for up to 72 hours is what they say. And it's creating that neuroplasticity and helping you to build those neural pathways. As long as after your ketamine therapy, you're not just going right back into, whatever it is you were doing before, turning on violent movies or, listening to crazy gangster
Yeah.
rap,
You got to
throwing
change
all the
people,
negative
places,
shit.
things, or you got to go
Yeah.
back to right where nothing is going to take you and put you on a shelf where you're untouchable, man. You have to make changes yourself. In addition,
Oh yeah.
Theo Vaughn, I think, said it best. He said, "These things give you the keys to unlock the doors to the rooms in which you are locked." And I think that's the best definition I've ever heard. So once
Yeah.
you're out of those rooms and you see things you never saw before, you see things you've seen your whole life from a different perspective, it changes you as a man. It just changes your soul. But it's up to you to then integrate other things into your life, whether it's all those modalities you spoke about before, or journaling, or meditation. Obviously, is huge. So whatever the case may be, and you have to shed. You're gonna have to shed people, man. If those people
Oh
are bringing
yeah.
you negativity, or they're bringing you down, or they're bringing you to bad places, people and things, they gotta fucking go too.
Yeah, 100%. It's all, like you said, like this medicine is just, it's kind of a tool that assists in your growth and being able to heal. But it's up to us to take the steps to really, make it work.
Yeah, everything's
So
here in your heart and your brain. This stuff is just kind of bringing magic into your life to see things and I don't know, change your outlook, so to speak. It's freeing you. And now what you do with it from that point on dictates how your life is going to be lived. But, you see a guy like yourself making all these changes, man. That's what it's for.
Yeah.
And I've done the same myself, but we're talking about you here. So I want to key on all your changes. Like, this is the way life is supposed to be lived.
Well, and like you and I had talked about before, whenever I worked out, I was always listening to like angry heavy metal, like the stuff that would get me ramped up and, cause that emotion that just pissed off anger. Like I think I thought I needed that to fuel my workout.
Yeah.
But back January 2nd, I did a integration group this was with a couple Navy SEALs, some firefighters, a couple other cops, but we did a ceremony that was psilocybin. So they started with MDMA, which, looking back, I wish that wasn't a part of it, because the MDMA, you get kind of a serotonin.
Yeah.
So it feels good, but then 1 or 2 days later, you get like a gnarly serotonin dump where you go into depression. And I was texting the guys afterwards. I'm like, hey, man, I'm depressed as fuck. Like, is this right? Is it supposed to be like this? And they're like, yeah, you just get a serotonin dump from the MDMA, which I understand why they use it. It's, just to kind of like break the ice a little bit. It's a lot of alpha males all in one room, and you don't really know anybody, and you just kind of want to like be able to shed that armor and talk to guys, be open with them. So I get why they do implement that first. But then we drink the mushroom tea and then throw the eye mask on, and they just had like a badass playlist going on. I mean, at the time, I'm sure it was the psilocybin, but it made that music sound like I was at a freaking concert, man. Like it was just right there. It was badass.
Yep.
But that journey, man, that was one of those that just another eye-opening, where through that one, I really learned I need to start learning to like love myself before I can help fix anybody else on this planet, or even have like good, solid relationships with the people, that I am close to.
Yeah.
Because I've spent so much time just trying to make other people happy and do things that they're approving of, when I need to, obviously easier said than done, like love yourself, right? Like
it's tough,
guys,
man. It's not easy sometimes. And the way you talk to yourself is huge. Dude, I used to screw something up like, you stupid motherfucker. I literally don't do that anymore, man. It's like, come on, brother, you could do that better. Well, you're better than that, whatever the case may be. Because study after study says your brain cannot tell the difference whether someone's talking to you or you're talking to yourself when you're doing these things.
Right.
And it accepts it as a reality. It's huge.
And that's a huge part of it is changing the internal thoughts.
Yeah.
Because I was the same way, stop being such a fucking asshole. Like, oh man, piece of shit, why'd you do that? But it's those things that just repeated over and over and over. Like, you're just ingraining it in yourself that you're a piece of shit. That you're.
It's funny, bro, because we never let anyone else speak to us like that. Yet we do it to ourselves. Like, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Calling yourself a fucking asshole. If someone did it on the street, you pop them in the face, but you're gonna do it to yourself over and over. It makes no sense. So you start with the self-love and heal, and then you're able to become more resilient. Then you're able to have healthy relationships. Because listen, man, most of the time you look at people and you question why so-and-so's with so-and-so. Well, because so-and-so doesn't feel good about themselves, so they're going down to that level of that person they're with, as opposed to making that person come up to the level that they are at and meet them there. So once you start getting healthy and cleanse your mind and heal from the pain you've gone through, it changes your outlook on everything.
Yeah, 100%. And it's daily maintenance. Like, constantly I got to catch myself, like, whoa, stop with the negative self-talk. Let's like reverse that and play it back. But it's it gets easier the longer that you do it.
Yeah.
Because for guys like us, shit, man, I'm 45 years old and I'm just now like trying to train my brain to do that.
Yeah.
So.
I was
you know.
54 when I did that, brother. That was when I
Yeah,
went to
yeah,
the ayahuasca. So for 54 years of my life, I lived a certain way, and now, I'm trying to change. I don't want to say everything, but many things about me. And I'll tell you, one of the things is the imposter syndrome. Like I was fighting that for the longest time. Like, who am I to be here telling people, and who's going to listen to me? And finally, I don't know what, man, something clicked about a month ago, and I'm like, you know what, motherfucker, you're not trying to be anyone but yourself, telling your authentic story. I don't try to tell anyone else's. I don't try to be something I'm not, and it's helped people, and I know it's going to continue helping people. So I'm just going to
oh yeah,
continue telling my story. The universe told me I put you through everything for a reason. I made you look a certain way so you have credibility with these guys and girls. Listen, you could have, you know the deal. You could have a 150-pound psychologist on the stage talking to us about this all day long. No one's paying a fucking attention.
right,
You
right,
or I or Taylor get up on that dais and start speaking to people. They're gonna put their shit down and be like, "Whoa, what the fuck's this guy laying down here, man?" Because
right,
he looks like a real dude.
right. Because you don't expect it from guys like us, especially
Yeah,
like even dude, me like 2 years ago saying that I'm trying to love myself, dude, that would never come out of my mouth,
I know.
right?
Yeah,
Like I'd be like, "What are you talking about?"
yeah. Even like I tell you I love you to most of my buddies now, man. I never
Yeah,
did that before. Or like you
yeah,
said, hugging. Like I used to feel so awkward. Whether it was even relatives, man. It just we didn't have too much affection in my family, so
yeah.
it was something I never really got used to. And I don't know if the same with you. With psilocybin, I find myself questioning my behaviors. So I'll say, why do I behave like this? Why do I isolate sometimes? Why am I not as affectionate as I wanted to be? And I always get taken back to my childhood, and I see how I was treated and how I acted, and I'm like, there we go. That is where my behavior started.
Yeah, yeah, I for sure get that same deal. Except for me, like I just kind of dove into this last year because I had so much stuff that happened with all the deaths and all that stuff. And that last journey that I had was pretty much just focused on that last year. But I was looking at like, okay, here's why I acted like this towards that person, and this is why I was doing these things. Yeah, it's very interesting. I really want to give the ayahuasca a shot because I hear you talk about it all the time, and
Oh yeah, yeah. It's
still sounds scary as shit to me, but I'd
It is
like
scary.
to.
It's fear of the unknown, man. I mean,
Yeah,
I was scared. I'll tell anyone. I was nervous when I got there. Even I'm like, man, should I be here? And I'm going for Ibogaine 2 weeks from what's today, Wednesday? 2 weeks from tonight. I'll be drinking.
oh,
I'll be taking Ibogaine probably about 9 p.m. So 2.5 hours, 2 weeks
nice.
from now, I'll be in Tijuana and Ambio Life Sciences. So I'm nervous about that.
Oh,
Like, what's that
man,
going to be like? That's going to be a 12 to
right,
16 hour journey. Who knows what it's going to be like? But I'll tell you one thing I do is I relinquish control. I'm like, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I'm not fighting it. It's
yeah,
not going to kill me. It could be the most visceral pain I've ever been through, but I'm going through it for a reason to heal. I'll come out better on the other side. And I did cognitive damage rolls, painkillers. I had like 8 seizures in 3 years. So, excuse me,
dang.
the psilocybin I know is healing my brain because I've got my wit back, my memory's coming back. My personality's coming back, so I know that this Ibogaine is going to do more of the same, and I'm just so excited about it, but
Dude,
nervous at the
that's
same time.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
absolutely.
that's same for me, man. I'm so like, I know that my brain does not work as well after all the shit that I put it through. So I'll be curious to find out from you if you feel like the Ibogaine really helped with
Yeah,
that. Because
absolutely. And what's good for you, bro, being a vet, is we could get you some organizations that sponsor, so you could probably go there for almost nothing if it
oh
was something you're interested in. So obviously we'll talk
yeah,
off air and stuff, but
for
yeah, I
sure.
mean, I'll go through my journey and talk to you all about it, and then we'll get you hooked up with some of these organizations that sponsor.
Hell yeah, that'd be awesome.
Hell yeah.
I'm definitely
So,
not at the end of my journey for sure. Like I got a lot more to learn and
oh
things
yeah.
to do, and just we're all a work in progress,
Yep.
right? Like if you think that you've gotten to the point where you're like, oh, I'm good, like I have perfected myself, and you probably need
Yeah.
to look in the mirror and change
Yeah.
some things.
You're aiming very
So
low if you think that, like Goggins
yeah,
says, man, we're all fucked up. And I say it all the time because number one, we think we're all alone. Everyone thinks everyone else has it figured out. No one's got it figured out. Everyone's an actor. They let you see of them what they want you to see. I was talking to Taylor one night about that fact, and he referenced two Navy SEAL Team 6 guys, awesome careers, post career, they had awesome careers going on. He's like, man, these guys have it just figured out, and both of them imploded. And he's like, that's when I realized that no one's got this shit figured out. Because if those guys imploded,
Right.
anyone can implode. It's two of the strongest men I've ever seen physically and mentally. And I'm like, that's the fucking truth right there, brother. Like, we all think everyone's got to figure it out. No, it's a day to day. Life's going to hit you with trauma every day. You know, I healed essentially from my PTSD, but hey, there's going to be more thrown my way. More thrown my way. The beauty of it is a lot of this stuff now, the emotional charge is taken away from these memories, like my dad and other things. So you're never losing the memory, but all the feelings that were attached to them are no longer there. And I know you know how that feels with some of these things that you just, it would kill you when you thought, like, I'm sure, like, when you thought of your buddy every time, man, it just broke your heart. And in some respects now, I mean, I can't imagine, like, the healing of you seeing him and him telling you he's okay.
Oh, man. I called his mom the next day and told her about that. Of course, I'm just like sobbing and in tears.
Yeah.
Like, I have a very close relationship with his mom, but telling her that, like, man, it felt amazing. And, you know, something that you're not going to experience if you don't try those type of, you know, healing medicines.
Exactly. Just imagine what she took away from that.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
that's
She's even
powerful.
she's looking into now doing her own.
Awesome.
So I really hope that she does,
Yeah.
because I couldn't imagine, you know, I lost a friend that day and she lost a son. So
That would give her profound healing. Like I said before, I wish everyone would drink. This whole world would be such a different place. Holy shit.
yeah.
All right, so let us know what is going on now. Obviously, you have Precision Resilience Training Group and then Resilient Lives. So, like, what's your day-to-day look like?
So right now, pretty much healing from a neck surgery. So
that's true.
doing a lot of stuff like social media and YouTube is it, but planning out. I'm going to have a bunch of trainings put on the calendar. So do a lot of trainings for law enforcement and civilians in the firearms realm. So pistol, carbine. We're going to do a recce course this month, or correction, in April. So that'll be a 2-day course. Just kind of teaching guys like a little bit about what to pack in your pack, doing some long range shooting with just the AR platform, so like a 5.56. And then we're going to work on a bunch of other things, but primarily it's teaching the firearms and the fitness, because the fitness, man, goes hand in hand with the mental health side of things, right? Like, if your body is not fit and you're just putting garbage into it, the brain is going to be in the same exact condition.
Hell yeah.
So healing the body, strengthening the body, and putting the good fuel in, then you can start healing the rest of the mind and just your life, and also just building that discipline with having the fitness as a regular routine.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of clients that I teach, that I have. We do nutrition and workout stuff. So I do that like one-on-one in person if they live here in town, or do like a Zoom if they're not here in town. And then I will train them the rest of the week and do their nutrition plan and all that.
Sweet.
And then the Resilient Lives Foundation, we're still in the process of getting it up and running, but we've got our nonprofit license. We're just waiting for some other things to fall into place. But the idea behind it is I'm going to put together, it's going to be a more holistic way of helping veterans and first responders, as opposed to throwing them on psych meds or, you know, the different pharmaceuticals that are just a band-aid or end up causing more issues down the road, where we're going to use fitness, community, you know, cold plunge, red light therapy, and then also have clinicians in-house that will do EMDR. They'll do family therapy. So having like first responders with their wives come in, or veterans with their wives and family come in, and being able to do kind of like group therapy sessions. But it'll be a 10-week program that each guy will get to go through, and they'll go through it all together. It'll be a combination of functional fitness, and then we'll have a like MMA side of the house. So we'll teach jujitsu, Muay Thai, kickboxing, that kind of stuff.
That's awesome, brother. Yeah, I think it's very important for guys and girls to realize, like, it's all of these different steps and modalities that you need to take. It's not usually this one seismic thing that's going to happen to change your life. Yeah, if you do the psychedelics, potentially that is a seismic thing. But if you don't start implementing all the things that Gabe's talking about into your life, again, you're going to go back to the same place that you were prior. So, it's people, places, things, habits, they need to change. And this is the way to do it. Exactly what Gabe's talking about. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You're not going to just do this one Z thing that's just going to blow the doors wide open
right.
and, put you into the magic land. It just doesn't
And
happen.
I mean, unfortunately, like nowadays, that's what people are looking for, right?
Yeah.
Like that one magic pill that's going to make them lose weight, or, the 6-minute abs everything's going to be fixed immediately.
Oh, yeah.
But
Look at these semaglutides. People follow them because they don't have to do a thing to lose this weight, But who knows about all that?
I'm sure down the road they're going to find lots of side effects and all kinds of, stuff that is just detrimental for the body and the mind.
Yep, exactly.
But pharmaceutical companies don't give a shit, right? They're just going to pump that stuff out because they're making billions of dollars, billions.
They don't give a shit. So, they'll pay their fines if they have to down the line, if something went wrong and blah, blah, blah. They'll get back to business. They don't care. But there's no easy fix. There's no easy road. And every decision you make has got some sort of, it's going to have a reaction to it. So, if you make good ones, it's going to have good. If not, it's going to have bad. And that's just life right there in a nutshell, brother.
Yeah, for sure. Another thing that we do have with Precision Resilience that I think is a lot different than a lot of the other training groups that are out there. I've got my partner, Amanda, who she's current law enforcement right now, but she's also a firearms instructor for the department. We have women's specific courses. So having a female instructor for females, I know, like, we've done so well with that so far. It has really opened the doors. Like, a lot of females, I think they want to do the training, but it's intimidating. Like, seeing the big meathead knuckle dragger wearing the camouflage and plate carrier, and they just want to go learn like the basics. But having Amanda being the one that's teaching, like, it's been so, it's just worked really well. A lot of women really love it. So that's another aspect of that Precision Resilience.
And women are so much easier to teach. They actually listen. There's no ego.
Dude.
Yeah. It's unbelievable, man. It really is. I love when people say there's no difference between the sexes.
Oh yeah, it's wild. Like having them come out to the pistol classes in just a 6-hour pistol class. Never picked a gun up in their life, and then by the end of it, they're shooting freaking holes in the paper from 7 yards away, like, because they can focus on it. Like you said, no ego.
Yep. Yeah, they listen. They take instruction well. So that's awesome, brother. I wish you the best on everything. Listen, it's been fantastic speaking to you. Anything that you wanted to talk about that I didn't bring up?
No, man. I think we about hit it all. I probably rattled on a little too much.
No, not at all, bro. People need to hear everything you were throwing down. So
I just want to say, man, I really appreciate you doing this podcast. Appreciate you writing the book. Like that book, I want to get into the hands of as many cops as I can, because you got really into the dark parts of the career that a lot of people don't talk about, and the parts of the mental, like the trauma and the things that it does to our mental health that nobody wants to talk about. So putting that all in the book and exposing it, I wouldn't say exposing it, but just a guy like you that had 30 years doing it, and hearing you get emotional, like you can feel it in the pages when you're writing that stuff, man.
Yeah, bro. I can't tell you how many times I cried in that book. Like, I had no idea where it was going when I first started it, and I was kind of critiquing myself. Maybe too much family stuff in there, but I'm like, no, man, people go through family stuff all the time as well. I was like, I'm just letting it go. Whatever happens, happens. And, people may say a lot of things about me, but they can't say I'm disingenuous. And that book was, was me.
Yeah.
And I think things needed to be said. Listen, I didn't even realize as I was going through my career, all the stuff that I was experiencing, to be honest with you. Looking back now with this higher consciousness, wow, it's a totally different ballgame as I look back at things that I did and things that I have seen. But the deal when you're going through it, man, it's just push it down, go to the next. You don't acknowledge
it's just
anything.
the job.
Yeah.
Yep.
and you throw on this armor so you don't absorb this pain, and then you realize this armor blocks everything. You know, nothing's getting through, and that's no way to live a life, man. We're humans, supposed to feel.
Yeah, because you go home to the family and you've got that same armor on still, and
Hell yeah,
it impacts the wife and the kids and everything.
Yeah.
So.
And they're the ones, unfortunately, pay the biggest prices because they're around us all the time. So, kudos to them for putting up with us as well. But, hopefully they'll kind of read that book and see what we're going through as well. And, we're not the best communicators. So a large part of my book was helping, hopefully, men and women decide to become better communicators and maybe giving them a couple of ways to do so. Because I know it was fucking horrendous, man. My emotional EQ was in the pits, bro. So I think it's ascended greatly in the past 2 years, and I just hope to keep doing that. I'm in therapy now, so I'm not embarrassed to talk about it. Still have anger issues, still have stoicism issues. If they're not showing emotion for 54 years, man, it doesn't turn around like that. I'm still working on that shit.
Yeah. Dude, I've been in therapy since 2010. Like, for me, I know, like, I'm never going to be, completely healed and just like, all right, that's my last therapy session ever. I'm good to go. Like, it is a constant grind. Just like if, doing your own business, like it's a constant grind. But working on the mental health and just keeping things straight up here.
Exactly. It's life. We're humans, and unfortunately, it's good. We need more men talking about these things, because then men see that the abnormal stuff that they're going through has the reactions that they get are normal to these abnormal stimuli that they see on a constant basis. It's nothing wrong with you. You're fucking human. You need to process this stuff, or get someone who can help you process this stuff. There is nothing wrong with you, I promise. So,
and no one's invincible to it, right?
No.
Like, a lot of guys think they can just, lock it all away and it'll never fuck with them. But like, how many cops, retire and end up taking their own lives because everything comes out of the box and they just don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah. You hit that saturation point. Everyone's got it. And when it does, man, that box blows. I remember that day when I was watching a podcast, all of a sudden these calls I hadn't thought about in years stop popping up in my head. I'm like, why am I thinking about all this, man? This shit was buried. And I'm like, you know what? It can't stay buried forever.
Yeah.
Glad it didn't. So
yeah, for sure, man. I'm glad that you did what you did and you're at where you're at right now, because you're helping a lot of people. And it's freaking awesome, man.
You too, brother. Love seeing it. And obviously we'll be a biggest supporters of each other. Continued. I'm going to get my ass out to Reno one day and train with you. So I want to get out there. Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
I will be out there. It's a promise. So
awesome.
Gabe, just tell everyone all the links will be in the bio, but if they want to get in touch with you, how to do so?
So we've got our website. It's precision-resilience.com. That's got our phone number on there. And then we've got our Instagram, which is precision_resilience. That's pretty much all we're running right now.
Okay, perfect. So guys, if you want to speak to Gabe further, reach out, DM him. I'm sure he'll get back to you ASAP. If you want training, hit them up, and you will not be unsatisfied. I promise you that. Great training to be had by all. So Gabe, thank you again, brother. It was fantastic speaking to you.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, brother. See you soon. Guys, if you like what you saw, please hit like and subscribe. Thank you.
Order, shot fire, officer down, shot fire, officer down. Got a city officer down, shot fire.
223, be advised, we have a visual on enemy paratroopers in grid Papa uniforms.
Welcome to the Resilient Warrior Nation, a podcast dedicated to inspiring hope and healing for first responders, military veterans, and anyone facing PTSD and trauma